Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. That's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
Welcome to Lanterns Live. It's Ralph, and today I will be discussing DC's Green Lantern Corps #1, written by Jeremy Adams, Morgan Hampton, with art by Fernando Pasarin, inks by Eau Claire Albert, and Arif Prianto. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm assuming is doing colors on this book. I didn't go through that. I need to really do an intro to this page saying how I'm not an expert on Green Lantern at all. I'm just a massive fan and like talking about it with friends. Today I'm doing it alone, but that's okay. I really didn't reach out to anybody. I figured, you know what, I've been bothering Will enough. I'll let him take a break until maybe the next Green Lantern issue comes out. But for now, just me talking about this book. Came out yesterday, read it last night, very much enjoyed it. I thought it was a really, really fun book. It's kind of what I've been missing with the Green Lantern title is an accompanying Green Lantern Corps title. And this has almost everybody you see here on the page, with the exception of my pal, Kyle Rayner is not in this issue, but everybody else is. And so there's a lot of story to go over. Well, not a lot of story, a lot of setup to go over where everybody is. And it's a good, solid first issue. I appreciate the price on this one was $3.99 as opposed to the normal $4.99, which is the price of Green Lantern. So we're off to a good start. Let me say this. Hey, I'm glad that Jeremy Adams is on board. He seems to be sort of doing what Jeff Johns did with his run on Green Lantern, which is sort of overseeing possibly the Green Lantern Corps. I don't know how long he's going to be on this book, and I'm not sure what he did and what Morgan Hampton did. But we shall see how it continues to go if Jeremy Adams drops off the book, and if it's just Morgan Hampton, we can see if there's any sort of change in quality or anything, but I don't know if there would be or not. I'm not familiar with Morgan Hampton's work. First thing right off the bat, there's a couple of things in this that I realized while reading this, and it's nothing against the artwork. I'm not really a fan of this design of John Stewart. I know it kind of came up in the Green Lantern War Journal episode, but there's something I kind of don't like about this sort of stripy look of that. But no issues with that. Everybody has their rings on the right hand. Everybody's boots are green with the exception of Jessica Cruz, which is good. So no problems with the art. I noticed our last episode of Green Lantern Corps, or Green Lantern issue 19, where all the lanterns are sort of all facing in different sides of the cover image. I realized that like 3 of the lanterns have the rings on the left hand, and that it's like, it drove me nuts. So anyway, what's great about this is we get kicked off right away. And let me tell you, Fernando Pasarin's art on this book is really, really impressive. I'm really liking the work that he's putting out. A lot of great big like sci-fi shots, a lot of characters in the frame, a lot of detail in the backgrounds. This looks like if you were to have like a big budget movie, like even like stuff like this, like it's just loaded with characters. And the background and design is really cool. So I'll say that right off the bat. I also like there's a very expressive nature to his faces when he draws. At points maybe a little cartoony, but I think it's not that it's not that I don't like it. It's just something that I noticed. Their faces are very, very, very expressive, and I like that. There's a you can tell it tells a lot of story within just like a face. Like here's this Superman construct, and there's a lot of like expression in that face. So I really, really like the artwork. Fernando Pasarin, who would do some of the Green Lantern issues for Xermanico on Green Lantern, is one of those things where, man, I like Xermanico a lot. I hate to see someone else come on, but Fernando Pasarin has just been great. Again, all the like the Kanjar Row faces are just wonderful in this. The story is pretty simple. The Green Lantern Corps are reforming. This is a great jumping on point for anybody who hasn't been reading Green Lantern recently. We get some exposition that the Sorrow Lantern is trying to build the battery, which we've gotten in the past, but it helps for new readers on this to get acquainted with what's going on. And it's almost like video game style where the lanterns are dispatched out across the different sectors to go find potential pieces of what could become this Sorrow Lantern battery, while at the same time the spectrum is fractured, everything is all fucked up and out of whack, and there are sort of people who are emotional, who are like essentially having destructive constructs like just pouring out of them, and they're all different sort of constructs. Like we focus mostly on one that's fear-based, and this person is crouched in fear and can't control her sort of emotions. And while this is going on, there's a gigantic yellow construct person going around destroying the city. So it's a really interesting concept. I really like this fractured spectrum storyline. I lied. Here is actually in this very big like sort of splash page. We do have Kyle Rayner does make an appearance right there. And again, very, very happy they're going back to the classic Kyle emblem of the sort of yin-yang half lantern design. So that's great. The story catches us up on a lot of lanterns. We get Joe with John, and one of my favorite things is Sam Humphrey's run on Green Lanterns, which starred Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. And it is great to see Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz together. Joe's also getting paired up with Guy a lot, so we'll see how that goes. It's pretty interesting. My one sort of main issue with this book, and it's an issue now. It's a problem that I have now. I don't know where they're going with this storyline, but I'm hoping that something comes of it, because I'm really not happy. Is Jessica's story. Jessica is essentially becoming like the new Salak. She seems like she is the person in charge of kind of overseeing missions, doing sort of, I hate to say it, but like kind of secretarial work, she's being a secretary. Essentially she's got a desk job. And for Jessica, one of the things that I like about her the most is she went through 3 years of being isolated in her home because she had a crippling agoraphobia, because she witnessed her friends get killed in the woods. And so she never like went outside. Then the ring chose her. She became a Green Lantern. She was able to overcome like great fear and actually get out into the world and, throughout Sector 2814, and was able to like come out of her shell and be stronger than ever. So I think it's kind of shitty that she's relegated to a desk job. And even the desk, I mean, this could be just part of the story. I don't know where this story is going yet. I just don't like seeing her like in a big, empty, cold office. I like seeing Jessica out. She has a conversation with Simon, who tells her like, hey, if you're having trouble, like, yeah, they put you in charge. Doesn't mean you have to do it on your own. So she's probably going to be looking for a team or something to help her out with all of this sort of, it's just like, I don't want to call it busy work, but it's like, it feels like data entry. It feels like scheduling. It feels like a really boring desk job. And when you're a Green Lantern, like, it doesn't sound like fun. And I don't like that she's relegated to basically a secretary, because her desk literally has like folders and papers and stuff on it. So I'm hoping this aspect of the storyline suits Jessica better in the future than what it appears to be like now. Maybe she doesn't want to sit behind a desk. Maybe she does want to get out, which would be great for her character, because that's like kind of the whole purpose of her character, is to overcome the agoraphobia and be out. Like, she actually now wants to be out in the world. So I'm hoping that's the case. Again, this is just a setup issue, so it's really tough to like gauge this stuff, and I don't want to shit on this story until we get farther down the road. So there's this stuff with John Stewart's niece, the construct that he created in War Journal. It's something I don't care for. And it seems like the writers of this book don't care for it, because there's a little word balloon, or not a word balloon, but there's a inner monologue that mentions Ellie, a construct of my sister, that I will to life. I know it's different. Yeah, it's different. And I feel like these guys are really stuck with this storyline, and I hope it gets resolved sooner than later, or they can take this bizarre storyline from War Journal and like do something interesting with it. It's like, I kind of want it just to be abandoned, but at the same time, like, I would like to see it resolved in a like meaningful way. But right now it just falls flat for me, and I don't care about it. I'm not really interested in the Teen Lantern. Also something that doesn't interest me. It's just not, I don't know. There was some cool stuff that they did with the Teen Lantern and the United Planets, which I thought were interesting, but now it seems like none of that story is really that interesting anymore. What I do find interesting is that we do have Guardians, and the Guardians are wearing different colors. Here we have a blue Guardian of Hope, and we have a yellow Guardian, I'm assuming, of Fear, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I missed something on that by not keeping up with my my solicits, but I do like that we're getting Guardians of different spectrums. So that's really cool. So something happened while I was reading this. I was reading in bed, and I actually gasped out loud to the point where my wife was like, "What happened?" And it was this moment where they're talking about going to this planet to check out this the splinter in the spectrum where there's this Fear kaiju tearing things up. And I turn the page, and we get this big full shot of Sinestro. Sinestro as a Green Lantern. Sinestro is back as a Green Lantern, which I'm kind of excited about. There's nobody else that could deal with this situation more than Sinestro. as a Green Lantern, because he's going and confronting fear head on. If there's anybody that knows fear, it's him. It's a really, really, it's probably my favorite part of this story was when we actually get into the action and the Green Lantern Corps are dispatched to go on their missions. Having John Stewart with Sinestro is really interesting too. They don't, anytime I think of Sinestro, I think of Hal as being a foil. And so it'll be really interesting to see how this relationship turns out between Sinestro and John. This whole part of the book was a lot of fun. I've never really cared that much for Sinestro as a Green Lantern. It was always a cool like flashback thing where it's like, oh, it's neat to see him back when he was a good guy. So now that he's back to being green, I'm actually more excited about this than I thought I would be. I think there's things like, Green Lantern First Flight, the animated movie, where for the majority of it, Sinestro's a Green Lantern. In Green Lantern 2011, Sinestro's a Green Lantern almost the entire time. And I'm just like, can we just get to Sinestro as, a different color lantern, which we've had for years in the comics. But now that he's back to being green, I think it'll be really interesting. It's really weird seeing him back in green because it's a gigantic question mark. Like we all know now, everybody knows Sinestro's a bad guy. We don't have to pretend that Sinestro is a good guy. But the fact that he's being accepted as a Green Lantern, I find very, very interesting. I think that we can have a lot of fun with this, and this is a storyline that I think is really, really cool. Sinestro essentially like facing off against fear and this giant fear kaiju, and not just like trying to take it out, but just talking to I don't remember their names. Hal, X apostrophe HAL. I don't know how to pronounce that. You can say X Hall, or it's like a Hal. Anyway, he's so in control and he's so sure of himself and he's cocky, which works in this situation where he's able to just talk to her while mentally like still being able to like keep the fear kaiju at bay. So he is the best person for this job because nobody knows fear like he does. So it's a really, really cool storyline. One that I did not see coming, where it's very rare that I audibly gasp while reading a comic book. And even though I like reading paper versions, reading it on Comixology, like frame by frame, that reveal of Sinestro being in the Green Lantern outfit was a huge reveal. So I'm a big fan of reading these digitally because it lends a more like cinematic kind of experience. So Clone Adventure just popped in. Needed more Kyle in this book. Overall, I thought it was a solid start. Same here. I feel like Kyle's such a great character, and we always kind of know where Kyle stands. He doesn't go through a lot of changes. So being able to start this book and touch on the characters we normally don't see, even though we see a lot of John, but with Joe and Simon and Jessica and stuff, it's nice to get like our footing. Let us know where those people are, because we know Kyle's out somewhere just being good, being a really good guy full of empathy. So for this, even though it's just the first issue, I'm expecting that we'll see more Kyle coming soon. But like things like this, like just like Sinestro just being so calm and cool and relaxed under like what would normally be like a stressful situation was like, I think, a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see like him sort of like, is he going to fall again? Is he going to fall and just like completely sort of turn his back on the Green Lantern Corps again? Will he be kicked out? This book pretty much shows that it's the Lanterns running the show along with the Guardians. Like there's this table. There's like this boardroom table with like lanterns. So all the lanterns are sitting there like as a group. They're the ones calling the shots. They're the ones doing the secretary work. So it'll be interesting to see how Sinestro fits into this, because we know he butts heads with the Guardians, and he butts heads with them because of the way they ran things. But if the whole like major like leaders of this new Green Lantern Corps are Green Lanterns, it'll be interesting seeing how he fits in, and if he'd be up for like taking over. Could he like form a coup? Can he like disband this new corps? One of the things I like is that this okay, so it's Vexaru is the person who was this alien who was not doing so hot. She was the one that was able to overcome the fear, and the Green Lanterns have decided that this would be a great way, or it might be a great way, to recruit new Lanterns, is if there's somebody who is able to create these fractured constructs from the spectrum, and they're able to overcome that with their willpower, like that might be a good recruit. So this might be a good way for them to start adding to their ranks. And John Stewart feels like this is a good way to do it. Like it's almost like a proving ground. Like these people are so emotional, and they can create rage, or they can create fear, but they're able to overcome it. And that's like the whole key of Green Lanterns. So I think this will be really interesting to see like more Green Lanterns being formed this way. And I think it's really interesting. It's a whole new way of doing this. It's kind of fun because when we like talk about Green Lantern and stuff, we know how new recruits are recruited. We know that like the Guardians had been established for a bazillion years. The Green Lantern Corps has been around for a bazillion years. And so we know how it kind of works as a well-oiled machine. What we haven't seen is how it really, really started and where you start. Like this is the Green Lantern Corps with a clean slate. We have some lanterns here, but they're trying to essentially like start the business. It's like Ghostbusters. They need to get like recruits. They need to make sure that they have like stuff set in place, including someone to sit at the front desk and find missions to do. So that's like Jessica's thing. And to go out and make allies, because with the United Planets, the Green Lanterns weren't very popular. So I think this is a good way to like recruit people and just like start getting planets on your side. You know, it's a really interesting thing to watch the Green Lantern Corps sort of be formed from the ground up, and Sinestro would be a key to that. He would be his wealth of knowledge, his years of experience would be perfect for this. But I feel like eventually at some point Sinestro is going to turn bad and kind of, start bending the committee to his will. The final thing we get in this is the return of Hawkgirl. So Hawkgirl is back, and that'll set up some sort of conflict with John. Hopefully Hawkgirl says, how come you have this weird construct sister hanging out? I don't know. I never really watched the Justice League cartoon a lot, but I'm familiar with that relationship. So it should be interesting. I'm interested in seeing that. I'm hoping next month we get a lot more of Kyle Rayner. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Kyle Rayner. Friend of the show, Will, also a big fan of Kyle Rayner. There's a lot of Kyle Rayner fans out there, and I can't wait to see his inclusion in this book a little bit more than like one page. So we'll see. So far, off to a good start. I like everything pretty much in the book. I think it's interesting. The art is great. I don't like that Jessica is a secretary. I feel like you do something with that. St. Walker appears to be a Green Lantern. I think I knew that, but did I forget it? Maybe it's just the same species. I don't know. Mention in the comments because I'm going to get things wrong. And it's the reason why I do a show is because I want to learn more about Green Lantern and the Green Lantern universe. So never hesitate to correct me in the comments, and let's open up the conversation. So I think the next episode, unless something comes up, some crazy news comes up. I know that in the Green Lantern, the Lantern show, there is now a costume designer, which I'm excited about. I'm assuming that they just announced the costume designer. But the costume designer has probably been working on the show, hopefully for a while now, because I really am looking forward to seeing how the Green Lantern costumes turn out for the series. Fingers crossed that it's not going to be the Earth 1 versions, because like with James Gunn's Superman, it looks like they're going for comic accurate outfits. And as much as I enjoyed Earth 1 Volume 1, it's just, this doesn't feel like real Green Lantern to me. So fingers crossed on that. But if there is anything that pops up, like set leaks or story or a crazy bit of casting, I'll jump on here on Lanterns Live and talk about it as soon as possible. If nothing happens, the next time you'll see me is for the next issue of Green Lantern, which I believe is Green Lantern 20. And I look forward to talking about that. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. Go check out my other videos, like and subscribe and all that stuff. Find me on Blue Sky at lanternslive.com. And until next time, beware my powers. It's Lanterns Live.
Life is unpredictable, but preparing for the unexpected shouldn't be. Take ownership of your life planning with Policy Genius to help your loved ones have a financial safety net in case something happens to you. They offer life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for $1 million in coverage. Don't wait for life to make other plans. Protect your family today. Head to PolicyGenius.com. That's PolicyGenius.com.